joining us. I often start by saying, I know that you'll be glad you did because you're going to learn so much. But this is especially true today because we have partnered with the Financial Therapy Association to bring you careers in financial wellness. And we're going to be talking about financial therapy and financial social work. I think it's a great opportunity to learn about these very important fields and more about money. And we can always more knowledge about money. I want to thank the Financial Therapy Association for initiating this collaboration. And I'm just going to do one housekeeping slide and let Financial Therapy Association take over. So in case there are any messages you need to know, they would be in the chat box. Our slides are not shared, they are proprietary, but we are recording this, and the recording will be on the Financial Social Work website and our YouTube channel within a few days. And the recording will be on the FTA membership platform in a few days. The recording will also be emailed to you within a few days. So lots of places to review it and remember it. Type your questions into the question box and we'll answer as many as time permits. If you have any technical questions, here is the link because GoToWebinar is the platform and we are not handling the tech. So let's get started. I'm going to hand this off. Sharing. Okay. Ashley. And Ashley, I'm handing it off to you.
Okay. Let me go ahead here. Okay, is everybody able to see my screen? Reeta, can you see my slide come up?
I love that slide. I can't see it.
Okay, perfect. I'm notoriously a tech jinx. So anytime that it actually works, I'm very happy. And I am very happy to be here today with Reeta and collaborating. And thank you so much for your time, everybody. Time is all that we have. So whether you're listening in live or you're listening to the recording, we just really appreciate you and being curious today. And if you are listening in, then you likely know that financial stress is impacting our communities. And there's a need for more members of helping professions to be trained in the emotional side of money. This is impacting us at work, in our relationships, and physically and mentally. I mean, each of these 4 main bullet points, we could get on a soapbox and do an entire presentation on for an hour or more in and of itself. So if you're joining today, you're likely not only aware of it, but either experiencing one of these stressors yourself or within your clientele in your workplace. So let's talk a little bit about my journey to financial therapy and the practice of financial therapy and where that landed in my workplace as a financial advisor. So I work at a firm called Centerpoint Advisors, which is a family office style RIA, registered investment advisory, and we help high net worth and ultra high net worth clients. We're on our 4th generation of clients. So as you can imagine, these conversations can get really complex and really deep. So while a meeting might start off based on numbers, it rarely ends based on numbers. And as we know, finance touches everything anyway. So the more that I was getting into client-facing roles in the beginning of my financial services career at Centerpoint, clients were coming out of meetings more and more and saying in either a really cathartic, relieved way, "Oh, I feel great. I feel like I just talked to a therapist." And you could just see their shoulders drop out of their ears. Or they would say in a really cringy, kind of embarrassed, like, oh no, I feel like I just talked to a therapist. I think I've shared too much. So I talked to my teammates. I said, there's a real need for this. There's a real need for folks to have a safe place to talk about money. And with their financial professionals should be a safe place to talk about their money, and not just the dollars and cents, but also the emotions that go around that. So I started to look at different programs, behavioral programs, kind of searching what is this thing that's going to solve for this problem. And I came across the program at Kansas State, which was a graduate certificate program in financial therapy. And that was the first time I had ever heard those two words put together. And I just thought to myself, damn, that makes a lot of sense, right? That feels good to say, and this could help a lot of people. So I went through that program, and that's where I found the Financial Therapy Association, and that felt like coming home, because that's where I learned that financial therapists are really across a wide array of disciplines, from financial services providers to mental health service providers, estate planners, academics, researchers. So a really robust group of professionals, all centered in the theory that we need to have a better relationship with money, and a better relationship with money impacts our overall well-being. So it's drastically changed how I engage with clients. From the financial services side, we're taught to problem solve, and we're taught to problem solve as quick as possible. So these skills have helped slow down the process, give space for clients to speak their mind, and reflect and understand a little bit about the past that's creating their current money patterns. So let me dive in more now on the Financial Therapy Association, because if you're really curious about becoming a financial therapist, then this is your go-to place. And I'm not typically one to read directly from a screen, but if you're anything like me, you might be cheating and listening to the recording in your car. So I want to make sure that you get all these important words, because it's really the mission statement, but also pseudo definition of the FTA. And the Financial Therapy Association is an organization comprised of professionals dedicated to the integration of cognitive, emotional, behavioral, relational, and financial aspects of well-being. The FTA exists to unite professionals from multiple disciplinary backgrounds to foster financial therapy profession, to issue cutting-edge research, best practices, and training that enhance client quality of life, and shape public policy and practice management standards within the financial therapy industry. So after hearing this, I think that you can see why Reeta and I get along so well, right? The Center for Financial Social Work follows a lot of these same philosophies. So let's talk a little bit about the differences and similarities. The FTA is a membership organization. So we provide membership and networking, education and certification, and conference and community. We have an international membership, so most of our programming is virtual, but we also have once a year an in-person amazing conference that's, tends to be pretty intimate. It's a lot of workshops and keynotes and networking and just learning from each other. And you also get a lot of CEs and learn new modalities. So I could nerd out on that for a while, but I hope that you'll check it out. This year it's June 11th in Athens, Georgia, and the request for proposals just opened today. So how do you engage with these three types of pillars? And this is a little bit wordy, this slide, so I apologize, but you could always pause on it when you access that free recording through the social work YouTube or the members network on the FTA. So we have monthly virtual programming, and that's where we cover anything from practice management tips to new therapeutic modalities to the latest research, or introducing and collaborating with like organizations that can provide even further opportunities to expand your professional horizons. You can also become, and you don't have to be a member, obviously, to join those, but you could become a student or a professional member, and members receive partner discounts, access to our members-only networking platform on Mighty Networks. That's where our complimentary webinars live. That's where we have our referral sites, job openings, workshops, case studies. And if you're curious about becoming a financial therapist, if you want to dip your toes in the water, I would say, check out a membership because it's one of the most welcoming communities. And if you get into that Mighty Networks, people are going to ask your questions and be happy to. You can become a sponsor or a partner organization to show that you support careers in financial wellness. And of course, you could always become a CFT. So what is the CFT? So the CFT stands for Certified Financial Therapist. And what do financial therapists do? Financial therapists at their root help clients identify patterns in their money behaviors. CFTs, especially in the financial planning space, operate with the value that clients can't look to the future until they're able to reflect on, understand, and accept the past. So much of planning is forward-looking, but really understanding where those beliefs come from is how you can exercise true empowerment. So this includes helping clients work through the unconscious, unexplored beliefs that they hold about money. So the certification provides this education and training to empower learners. And we offer that through a self-paced video series of certification process where candidates gain that therapeutic and financial knowledge. And there's also some other self-study resources. And the CFT provides the level of knowledge and skills to complement the learner's home discipline, whether that be in mental health or financial services. But this is funny because it's been so ingrained in us over the past decade to say complement the learner's home discipline. But one of the most exciting things for us as an organization to witness right in front of our eyes is the growing number of educational institutions and universities that are actually building programs that are financial therapy specific. So we now have students who are graduating with degrees in financial therapy as their home discipline. So we're excited to see that continue to grow. So who should become a CFT? So if you're interested in helping people think, feel, communicate, and behave differently with money to improve their overall well-being, then you should think about becoming a CFT. We also have, CFTs that are in academia and focus highly in research. Applicants are required to have a bachelor's degree or higher in a financial or mental health related field, and that's really to best suit them or best prepare for the type of work that's done. Because sitting for the CFT does require a pretty deep understanding of both mental health theories and financial planning topics. But if you hold an unrelated degree, there's also a number of certifications that will consider that educational requirement met. We understand that, especially in our field and in newer fields, there's a lot of folks who pivot into this industry, and their degrees might look a little bit different or be labeled a little bit differently across institutions. If you have a financial planning degree, maybe that's in a health and wellness, maybe that's in science, maybe it's in arts, depending on what college that you went to. So we also have a special review board. So if you apply and get denied and feel that you were wrongfully denied, don't hesitate to apply for a special review so that we can dive a little bit deeper into those credentials. And then once you're certified, that's the exciting part, then you just adhere to a code of ethics and standards of practice that do have some compensation guidelines in there too. So that's pretty typical with any certification that you get, but I always just like to leave that disclaimer. So there are many professions across the continuum of financial well-being. And as Reeta says, one of my favorite quotes, money is complicated, life is complicated. There's no one or easy solution or fix for either. So we need all of these advisors. When I first started in the financial services industry, I thought financial education was going to fix everything. So I worked endlessly on investor education pamphlets and webinars and workshops for my clients. But what we know now is that financial decisions are actually made 90% emotionally and only 10% logically. So we can have the keys to the car. It doesn't mean that we can drive it. So financial education, the transfer of knowledge. And then we have financial counseling that's more specific to financial goals, financial coaching, financial planning, which if done very well can look a lot like financial therapy. But then we have financial therapy. So we see all of these professions. I love looking at this continuum of financial well-being, which is lent to me very kindly by Sandra Davis at Sage Financial Solutions. Because we need to just recognize that we're all here to help, and there's so many different ways to help others and learn more about our own financial behaviors. So I'm excited to turn the mic over to Reeta, who's going to talk about the financial social work profession and the similarities and differences there.
Megan, that was really wonderful. I really appreciate that. I'm sure everyone in the audience does too. Okay, so let's move on and talk about financial social work, how it began. Financial social work began 27 years ago with the word feminomics. I created that word and therefore decided that when you create your own word, you should be able to create your own definition. So if we were all together in the same room, I would love to ask, what do you think the word feminomics means? And surely everyone would say, or someone would say, women and money. And of course, that's true. But I gave it the definition of the gender of money. And there is a gender of money. And this is a problem for so many women. So it was 1997 when I started all of this with the word feminomics, gave it the definition of the gender of money. And here are 7 in this graphic. You can see 7 areas of feminomics. And did you know that the United States Constitution does not guarantee equal rights for women? But of course, we've come a long way. I'm not sure things are any better today. I wish they were, having created all of this over 27 years. But the gender of money is different today. I'm sure you all know that. There are so many populations that need this information. But this is the root of financial social work for me, because once upon a time, little girls grew up believing that if you had long, beautiful hair, could kiss the right frog, you would live happily ever after. And we don't have to go into the details to what's happened to happily ever after for so many women. So, one simple truth is that no one chooses to have money problems, but sadly, most people do. When you have money problems, you need a trustworthy, reliable professionals with whom to process all things monetary. You need a safe, non-judgmental space where you may talk and learn about money. And we know that everyone needs someone and somewhere to share their money secrets and questions, the secrets and questions that they've been hiding from or avoiding all of their lives. So the financial social work certification is inclusive and it is available to everyone. It is a behavioral model addressing the thoughts, feelings, attitudes, beliefs, values, and experiences that drive financial behavior. Because until and unless behavior changes, nothing changes. And for us at the Center for Financial Social Work, financial behavior is represented by how one earns, spends, saves, shares, and borrows. And it is a very heart-centered approach at the intersection of social work, politics, the economy, gender, racial, social, economic, other able justice, and climate change, mental health, and financial inequity. And while there's so much overlap between the work that these two organizations do, we are at a very different place on that spectrum. So this is so great to have the opportunity to share both of these programs with you. So financial social work is very much about healing your relationship with your money and with yourself. So many people have such poor relationships, not only with their money, but with themselves. And when you don't feel worthy, you don't feel deserving, you're feeling hopeless, we have to do better than that so that we're able to engage clients in this process. It is about growing more successful personally, financially, and professionally, because we do have thousands of graduates across the country and worldwide. And we know that everyone can do better with their money personally and professionally. It is about reducing financial stress, problems, anxiety, and trauma. And most importantly, and that's why I try to highlight this section, it is about creating a safe, non-judgmental space to learn, process, and talk about money. There just aren't very many places like that. And we try to fill that need. So what do financial social workers do? They are agents of financial change. They address money and mental health. That connection is so critical. We advocate for marginalized groups. We help clients cope, heal, and deal with their money and mental health. We work to heal our own and our clients' relationship with money and self. And we are committed to gender, social, and economic justice. At the Center for Financial Social Work, we offer certification for the past over a decade. The certification has been 5 workbooks, very beautiful workbooks, very interactive and reflective. We will be adding a 6th workbook that will make the program even more dynamic. It's on financial social work intersectionality, and that's coming before the beginning of 2025. All of these programs include CEUs from National Association of Social Workers. It can be purchased on a payment plan. There is a 3-year renewal process. We just launched, very exciting, our first financial social work video program, and that can be viewed along with a video explaining it on our website. We have a partner program, a client directory, a magazine, lots of good things to be helpful and supportive to our students and graduates. We actually offer a free monthly webinar. Our next one is next Thursday. Those are all recorded. They are all archived on our financial social work website. Next week is on AI and your finances. We have the FSW Collaborative. We include CEUs. On our website, you can read graduate essays. You can access webinar recordings. Feels like from the beginning of time, certainly many are there. We included promotions and gifts, discounts, and we are very focused. It is a financial behavioral change model, again, because until and unless behavior changes, nothing changes. So we have a partner program. You can see we have a financial wellness magazine to keep clients engaged with you and your organization. We have our directory. The Financial Social Work Collaborative is 4 of our graduates, seen right here, and they schedule several sessions every month for our students and graduates to benefit from each other, to network, to learn, and to mentor. So those are a few of the services and supports we offer. You can see right there is a link to our first new video program, and we will continue to drop new videos on a regular basis, and they will be focused on different client populations. For an example, veterans, um, medical social work, many different areas that we know our students and graduates can use the help learning about. So in closing, a few things to remember about money. No one chooses to have money problems, but most people do. The good news is that no one needs to know everything about money, but everyone needs to know certain things about money. What I need to know would be different than what you need to know, but there are things we all should know. We have to stay focused on that very real connection between money and mental health. And if we want to end financial illiteracy, we just must do better in raising young people to be smarter with their money. So now is the time to invite greater financial health and wellness into your practice, casework, your client work, your classrooms, your workplaces, communities, your conversations, your own life. And it is certainly time to become an agent of financial change, whatever that looks like. Let's start these conversations. Let's create spaces where financial behavioral change can happen. And in closing, I thought I would share with everyone that my colleague, Dr. Matthew Schwartz, and I have a textbook coming out in June of next year, which is very exciting for us. And we are hopeful that more social work programs will use it and bring financial social work to many, many more clients. With that, we are ready to take some questions. Right, Ashley?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, we have questions. Oh, sorry, Eric, were you going to go first?
Oh, please go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I might have misunderstood. But I'm so excited about the questions that were in the chat. So I just wanted to read those out loud to allow you guys to answer. The first question is, I'm unsure if I should become a CFT or get a financial social work certification, or should I do both? Can you talk to the audience a little bit about both the certifications?
Well, Ashley, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so we actually have quite a few folks who are both, who start off. So what I would say, and if there's anybody who wants to put in, in a chat or in a follow-up who's gone through this, is it depends on how deep you want to get with it, I think, and what your current background is and your time commitment and your budget. So that's what I would look at there. The financial therapy certification does have more, I would say, from my understanding, it goes deeper into each, right? So it'll go really deep into the mental health, really deep into the financial, and into the therapy and into the financial. So if you're looking to lean one way or the other, or if you're looking to just get, training in it, then I wouldn't say, to go that route. If you're looking to full bore, say, I want to become a financial therapist, this is what I want to do, or this is what I'm doing within my firm, what I want to specialize within my practice, then I would say the CFT. And that's how I can speak to that. Reeta could probably speak a little bit more to the difference with the FSW.
Thanks, Ashley. Great answer, I think. We are very different. Um, Financial social work, it's about behavior. And I've said it enough times that everyone knows how important I feel that is to how we relate to money personally and in our professions. Um, I try to explain where we come from. It seems to me, Ashley, that with the Financial Therapy Association, there is a very strong slant on the and please tell me if I'm wrong, on the investing side, on the financial side. We include the basics of investing, we include estate planning, but I would guess that the majority of our graduates aren't working with high net worth clients, as you said from the beginning, you work with. So I
Yep.
think
And I love that. I love that you bring that up, because we are every year at the conference, we say, show a raise of hands, we do a little poll, and without a doubt, all of the mental health professionals think that the majority of membership is financial, and all of the financial services professionals think that a majority of the membership is mental health, and it's actually 50-50. But I would agree with you. You're right as far as if you work with high net worth individuals and are doing more complex planning, then that might be a differentiator as well.
Well, it is called financial social work. From the start, though, so many other professionals recognize the need for this type of training. And yet, I'm sure you know as well as I do, many professions don't recognize it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But as you indicated, Ashley, the recognition, the need for it is growing. Personally, I wish it had grown faster over the past 27 years, but here we are. And I know I feel blessed and love what I do, as you clearly do at the Financial Therapy Association. So we are in a very different place on that spectrum, I would say, with the client populations that we work with. Okay, I think we're ready for the next question.
There are some great ones in the chat. I'll just kind of jump around. The first one from Noelle: does any of the certification include more details on how to get into the field or how to create it as a private practice service? The respondent said, I'm in a rural area where there's such a need, but the access to jobs for these professions might be limited.
I would say, within the FTA, the member network is really powerful. And there's a lot of practice management discussions. There's a weekly chat, a weekly members only Facebook Live chat, or actually that might be on Zoom now. But it's a really, really supportive. And a lot of those folks are finding opportunity in virtual financial therapy. So that depends. You'll have to follow your home discipline licensing, whether you can, cross borders or, where on that financial continuum you want to integrate the work. Because if you're coaching and not technically therapy, then that's going to follow different guidelines. And I know that Reeta put a slide up before with some great resources on the social work side.
I'm trying to remember what slide that might have been, but it's not coming to me very quickly.
And with everybody being so different and helping in different ways, it's just the conversations are so important. And anybody who's doing this work has, on either side, any kind of financial wellness work, they naturally want to help, right? So never hesitate to have, reach out to myself, any of our members, Reeta, for an exploratory call on, how does this look in your life? And how does this work with your clients in your day-to-day? Because that's something that really can't be defined in a handbook.
Great answer. I have a calendar on our website and you can schedule a call with me. I love talking about our work and this work. and the need that exists. And so, as Ashley said, you have lots of opportunities available for learning more details, because if it wasn't clear to you what those differences are, perfectly understandable. You know, we went through a lot of information already today. Um, Take advantage and schedule time with one of us and learn more about it. Also, certainly our website has tons and tons of free information, ebooks, graduate essays, recordings from more than a decade of monthly free webinars. So there's lots of ways, and take advantage of those opportunities, but certainly understand that the need for all of this work is huge. And unfortunately, it's not going to go away anytime soon.
I have another question for you from Eric about how much each of your certification programs will facilitate self-reflection and help build financial self-awareness.
Okay, I'll
That's
take
a
that
very
one.
big part. Yeah, probably both. And in therapy in general, self of the therapist work is very, very important, because without doing your own work, then it's going to be difficult to help others through and to reflect and understand it. So that's it. I think that's an entire module in our videos, if I'm not mistaken. And it's part of ethics requirements too.
Well, my answer would be 100%. All of it is about doing the work, feeling confident and competent, and being confident and competent to do the work, using it personally as well as professionally. So I think the main differences as we continue with the Q&A and this training is more about the financial aspects of it. That's my answer.
Excellent. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Do you both ever find yourself sitting with a married couple who are on the brink of separation or divorce and it's due to money matters? I imagine it's a big deal because money is still the top reason for divorce. How do you handle the dynamic between couples who have different money traumas and histories?
Ashley, that's yours, because my
Okay, all
clients.
right. I was trying to be patient here, but we do a lot of what's called CDFA work, which is Certified Divorce Financial Analyst work. So we see couples in this transition a lot. And one client couple I can reference is they came for financial therapy, and they were very much, on the brink of deciding divorce. And I, had to be very clear about scope, right? Because I'm not a licensed marriage and family therapist, which is different. But I said to them, I said, no matter which direction your marriage goes, whether it's in repair or in dissolve, you're going to need to have the skills to communicate around money. Right. So we went through our sessions, our engagement was complete, and both of them emailed me months later thanking me, because they did end up getting divorced, fortunately, unfortunately. And they said it would have been traumatic if they hadn't gone through financial therapy first. Because you're absolutely right. Money is the number one reason why people seek counseling and the frictions in divorce. Money arguments start up more harshly and last longer than other arguments. So we see this a lot. Sometimes we'll come in and it's a financial planning meeting, right? And this is another way that I organically got into financial therapy, because it turns into more of a conversation, how you're speaking to each other, right? It's no longer a portfolio review. Now it's asking for communication skills. How do we get past this in our finances so that we're not fighting all the time about money? So we see it a lot. And the skills that I've gotten through the financial therapy training, I mean, it's a 180 with how I'm able to handle that with clients, make them feel more comfortable and see the positive changes.
My own clients are our students and graduates. So I don't do client work, but our students and graduates, many of them have private practices and work with every population, because most of them, are the majority. I'm trying to think, it's not really true. At least 50% of our graduates are social workers, and a large percentage of those are therapists, uh, and they work with couples together or separately. And we know that this work is important and can be just as successful as what Ashley's describing. We need to be there providing that safe, non judgmental space to process the financial piece and the mental health piece and the relationship piece. There's a lot going on for sure. Any more questions?
Yep, a couple more. First, do you guys have any materials that can be used in therapy or group therapy, maybe exercises, interventions, or resources that people can look out for those kind of materials?
Oh, yes. What's the book, Megan? Is it Facilitating Financial Health that has the exercises?
Yes, that's a great one.
Yes. Yep. I like that one. Facilitating Financial Health. Um,
Sonia Luter has a great workbook called the Love and Money Workbook that can be like actual exercises for practitioners
mhm.
too.
Our students and graduates can use all of the original materials, the assessments, the quizzes, the activities. Our graduates can use them with their clients. That is part of our certification process, which means they do not have to reinvent the wheel. And those materials are very behavioral because, as you know, it's behavior, behavior, behavior. So, yes, obviously, these two organizations have a lot in common and a lot of differences and a lot of overlap. But yes, I think we all recognize the need to make the practice of either financial therapy or financial social work easier to facilitate, because finance, money remains something that people spend a lot of time disconnecting from and avoiding because it is so stressful and traumatic. So good for us for doing that, right?
The Financial Therapy Clinical Institute, I think it's ftci.com or .org. They have some free resources as well as far as exercises go.
That's a great resource. I have a two-part question. How do you address financial issues with college students or young adults who cannot afford to finish school and their family history had some maybe financial literacy or financial dysfunction? And as an addition, thinking about young adults and adults influenced by social media, how do you kind of interact with them as well?
Go ahead, Reeta. You can
Okay,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. You want to
Oh,
go?
okay. So there's a lot in there. There's a lot to unpack in that question. I want to meet this
Right.
person and sit down with them. Um, but yeah, so we do social media, just grappling onto that. It really is an age of instant gratification. So I come back to that theme of helping the next generation slow down a little bit, putting in their own speed bumps, controlling that, right? Even currency, the way that it's gone. I mean, you used to have to barter, then it was cash and coin, then it was writing a check, then it was swiping a credit card, and now you literally point your face at your phone and you can buy whatever you want, right? So there's a lot of guilt and shame around overspending, but it's targeted. Everything's targeted to you for that, and sometimes that can impede your other goals. right? Like being able to afford finishing college. And sometimes that's not the reason, right? There's family illness that might take you away. There's other obligations. So really getting to that and saying, well, we might work and say, well, what is the limiting belief around you not being able to ever finish? What are you looking to get fulfillment from finishing? And what can we do in the meantime that might give you the same kind of rewarding feeling? So we might work that way. If there's any kind of struggle because of family conflict, then we can work through that and help that get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe have a facilitated family conversation or provide more resources. So the next go round, when they are ready to start back up, they'll be able to do it in a more confident way. Because where the financial literacy comes in, and it's really important, is you're not going to be able to make a confident decision if you don't know what you don't know, right? If you don't know what you're talking about and there's nobody to really have your back. So that's how we would frame that. We deal with a lot of next generation clients, not so much in a little bit in the debt space, because sometimes we actually recommend a student loan, believe it or not, to build some credit and just pay immediately. But yeah, the pressures around higher education are really, really present right now.
Well, the financial stress and anxiety and trauma occurring today is unprecedented. And certainly all of the things you suggested, Ashley, are important ways of doing this. If you remember in one of my last slides, I showed the picture of the little girl walking with the blindfold on. We need to really end financial illiteracy. Now, that's not the easiest thing to do, but we're not going to get anywhere with it unless we're doing more about that. So there's a lot of macro work that we can do, policy work to change that. I will say that over all these years, there have only been maybe 17 states that required one semester of personal finance. But from everything I'm reading, I see that in the next 2 years, there should be at least 25 states requiring that. Is it perfect? No. Is it a start? Yes. The more proactive we can be, the more likely we can help today's youth do better, learn how to make financial decisions. Should colleges be as generous as they are? Should they be? How do we allow young people to take these loans without understanding the long-term costs involved? A lot of advocacy work, a lot of policy work, and it needs done, and it needs done now. Those are my feelings.
I wish there was like a reaction button where we could clap. These are so many great.
I know, I was thinking the same.
The next question I have is, are there networking platforms within both your organizations that people can meet with other financial social workers and financial therapists and learn from each other?
Yes. Yeah, our members network, it's very dynamic for how spread out our membership is. As I mentioned, we're international. So we have, if you're an FTA member, you have the Mighty Networks platform, which is very robust. There's also a private Facebook group, and there's a lot of interacting and networking that goes on at the conference as well.
And we do have the FSW Collaborative. That's for graduates who created this collaborative and schedule meetings open to all of our students and graduates to network, have additional training in mentoring. So clearly, both organizations recognize the need to really support those individuals all of us who are trying to make a difference in the world when it comes to taking control of your money in order to gain control of your life. We, I know, focus a great deal on keeping it simple, um, making it engaging, educational, motivational, and supportive. That is the model that I created. And I think you, in your own way, also at the Financial Therapy Association, are doing the same thing. It's what we need if we're going to really impact and create sustainable long-term financial behavioral change.
Wonderful. My next question is for Rita and from my good friend John Hankins, who was actually part of the reason why this webinar came together. He works with me, the Committee for Financial Therapy Association on webinars. Anyway, this question for Rita is, are there any MSW programs that are offering a concentration in financial social work or similar program?
Well, thanks for initiating this because it's been a lot of fun. Yes and no, no concentrations. But I did, and I'm sure you saw that we have our textbook coming out. I was asked to write that textbook, and I'm really hopeful that my publisher and editor recognized the need. I'm sure they wouldn't be publishing it if they didn't. I certainly have recognized the need over the past 27 years. It will be, from everything I'm seeing, it will be offered as an elective in an MSW program. And of course, I don't think financial social work is embraced nearly enough because in this country and culture, we still are reluctant to talk about money. But we need to talk about money. It affects us physically, mentally, emotionally, certainly financially, certainly socially. Come on, everybody. Let's just keep working harder. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, I actually also know of an article that I just added to the question box by Dottie Durbin and a few other researchers who looked at how many programs that Marriage and Family Therapy has started offering financial electives, and so I added that to the question option too. The next question I have is, will the Financial Therapy Program offer approved CUs in the future for educational programs or CUs for social work, or will there be some collaboration around CUs in your webinars and so on? Sorry, that was a little rambling at the end.
Yeah, we're trying to do that. We try to do that as much as we can. That's another reason why it might seem a little financial heavy, because the CFP CEUs are a little bit easier to get than anything in the mental health field because it's state specific. But we're trying to collaborate with more organizations that offer similar credentials, like the Center for Financial Social Work and IDFA and some of those other, just to expand access, because we also know that there's a little bit of a barrier from a cost standpoint. And again, we only have so much time. So we want to be able to maximize time and reduce redundancies for learners who are interested in this. And we understand that if something is for a CEU, that it's a little bit easier to get on the calendar.
Very, very true. All of our certifications, the financial social work certification has included 20 CEUs for the past decade. But as we add this new exciting sixth workbook, we're expecting to probably raise that to over 26 CEUs. And we know that that's a lot because when you need 30 or 40 CEUs every 18 months or 2 years or 3 years, we're happy to be able to do that. I'm certainly excited that I know that our graduates have those skills and tools and knowledge to improve their own lives as well as their clients' lives. and our video programs and our recertification, they all include the CEUs. And that does make it more appealing to everyone. We probably have
Our conference, the conference tends to have more, I guess I would call multidisciplinary CEUs. So that's a really great opportunity too.
Yes, we are always on the search for CEUs, right? I think we have time for one more question.
Great, and that was actually a lovely segue into the last question, which was about, are you guys speaking at upcoming events or conferences, and can you tell us more about how to get involved in different ways or attend those conferences?
Ashley?
I spoke a lot. I spoke a lot about FTAC because it's one of my most wonderful times of the year. So I know that's not until June, but I think that'd be a great opportunity, especially if you like what we're talking about here today. There's a lot of like organizations represented, so that's in June. And if you want to follow on LinkedIn and go ahead and connect, then that's where I would post more of my speaking engagements, but trying to keep it pretty light through the end of the year. This year end is a very, very busy time in my world.
I can only imagine. I usually speak at National and ASW. I do lots of online trainings for organizations. If we're promoting something, if you register on our website, and that's just your name and your email, you will hear from us. We will tell you what speakers we have coming up because we do the monthly free webinar. We do lots of exciting things to keep our thousands of graduates and our financial social work community engaged in learning and learning. That was a good segue.
I hope I got all the answers, the questions answered, but I see that there's some information on there if you want to connect more, or if I missed your question, please reach out to these wonderful speakers.
Well, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Thank you, Megan and Rita. And behind the scenes, there's our gentleman, Eric, who is a lifesaver too, because like I said, I'm usually the tech jinx, and I think everything went well. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. And just one last reminder, this was recorded and you should receive an email on Monday with a link to watch or download it. Thanks.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks to everyone. Have a great weekend and happy November. Hope to hear from you all soon. Bye now.